So several weeks ago, I made a video showing how geometry can actually supersede steel and heat treatment, giving the false impression that a knife is actually a quality knife when it came to certain cutting tasks, and why it's so important to use a knife in the way that it was originally designed in regards to its geometry. Now I did this by demonstrating different edge geometries on a couple of different knives while hammering them through some nails. And for reference, I will link those videos down in the description. So after releasing this video, I had an absolute army of trolls telling me in the comment section that I was wrong. Those same trolls then went out of their way to make up a whole bunch of stuff that I never said and then spread it around the internet. This spawned a couple of response videos to the things that I never said from some other YouTubers. So let's take a second to set the record straight. Now, contrary to popular belief, I made those videos in response to some ad campaigns that were running on Facebook and Instagram that look something like this. Now, the videos that I specifically saw on Facebook and Instagram that sparked my original video was a guy using a similar blade batoning through a rather large nail and then proceeded to cut some bamboo matting and some other stuff while the captions read, "Superior steel and heat treatment." And contrary to popular belief, that mystery steel and induction heat treating isn't superior in any way, shape, or form to anything, despite them chopping through steel bars and nails with those knives. They're doing this because of geometry. And once again, I go over this in my original videos. However, since I posted those videos, there's been a series of trolls going around posting a bunch of misinformation about what I said in those videos. Basically, these trolls watched exactly 3 seconds of each one of those videos. So let's raise the angle on this badly heat-treated knife to 30 degrees and see what happens. Check that out. There's like 0 edge damage. And then claim that I said in those videos that any knife with a 30-degree angle will survive being chopped through a nail. I do not say this in any video. I'm mostly referring to you and I's interaction in the comments of that video, when you stated that heat treat was virtually irrelevant compared to the angle. I told you that Peterbilt knife guy did a lower angle bevel, the knife failed, and then a 30-degree angle, and it still failed. So bevel and geometry alone weren't the only factors at play. At that point, you just quit responding. That's because I probably blocked you after I told you the 1,000th time to go back and watch my entire video, where it would have clearly made sense if you did that. The thing is this has absolutely nothing to do with Peterbilt knife guy. I actually didn't even know, and I'm not saying this as in a derogatory way, I didn't know who he was until after I released that original video, at which point I got a bunch of trolls in my comment section making up stuff about me and also making up stuff about him to me, and it just has turned into this giant cluster. I like Peterbilt knife guy. I've chatted with him. He's a cool dude. Go watch his channel. But the funny thing is that all the trolls making all this stuff up, they don't even understand his videos. It's hilarious. So let me break down at least my video to help some of you a little bit slower people understand what was actually happening in that original video. So here's the rumor. Apparently I said any knife with a secondary bevel of 30 degrees or over will make any knife survive a nail test. So why don't we just go ahead and roll over the first part of the video that you and all the other trolls who like making up stuff skipped over. That way, we can see what was really said. Let's see what happens when we increase our sharpening angle from 20 degrees per side to 25 degrees per side. 25 degrees. Look at that. Almost no damage whatsoever. And what do you know? The secondary bevel survived simply by adding 5 degrees to the cutting edge. Let's try 28 degrees. And again, we have very minimal, if any, damage. You could probably almost strop this out. Oh wait, you mean there was another knife in that video that survived the nail test at 25 degrees? No! That's because you didn't watch the whole video. This is the equivalent of skipping to a chapter in a math book where the answer to every equation in that chapter is 30. Then closing the math book and thinking to yourself that the answer to every math equation is 30. What they fail to realize is the fact that the math book isn't trying to teach you the answer. It's trying to teach you how to do the equation. Because in this case, simply adding 5 degrees is the difference between either ruining the knife or a knife that completely survives. Did you hear it? That was a very important part at the end of that video. Let me replay it. Because in this case, simply adding 5 degrees, I didn't mention any specific angles there. It wasn't 20 degrees, wasn't 25, wasn't 30, wasn't 40. I said, because in this case, adding 5 degrees, which is a completely arbitrary number, the point is that we added geometry to that angle to help it survive. That ending portion of that video is very important. So let's break this down how it was filmed in the original video. Knife number 1 fails the nail test at 20 degrees. We add 5 degrees to a 25 degree total angle and the knife survives. Knife number 2. Knife fails nail test at 20 degrees. We have to add 10 degrees to a 30 degree total angle to make the knife survive the nail test. In other words, the specific angles mentioned in that video don't matter. We could completely erase the actual angles mentioned in that video, and the entire premise of the video remains the same. So here's a super complicated explanation after removing the specific angles. Knife number 1 fails nail test with the letter A representing the failing angle. We add angle to our apex until we no longer have failure. This is represented by the letter B. Now we put this together in a super complicated math equation where A plus B equals C, with C equaling the angle that doesn't fail the nail test. Now this is where the impatient people will stop watching and then go out and say that, well, Alex from Outdoors 55 said that by simply adding geometry to any particular knife will allow it to be pushed through any nail without any damage whatsoever. And I actually answered this in a follow-up video that I pinned in the comment section of the original video, where people asked what happens when the damage extends beyond the secondary bevel. Surely that's not a geometry problem. Well, in most cases it actually is, as demonstrated in that video with a $5 Walmart knife. We were able to add thickness behind the edge, which allowed the $5 Walmart knife to pass the nail test. And the idea behind showing that test is that if the geometry is too thin for the task at hand, it doesn't matter how good the steel, the hardness, or heat treatment is, it's not going to survive cutting through a nail. Now, my entire goal with the last video was to not focus on the specific angles. I gave the specific angles in that video for reference sake, so that we can come back and have something to compare to later if needed. These specific angles are completely variable depending on the steel type, heat treatment, and hardness level. We also talked about this in the original video, where we specifically mentioned the hardness level of each test blade as well as exactly what was done to it during heat treatment. My goal with that original video was to go back and help you figure out how to either add geometry or remove geometry in order to help get your knife to complete a particular task. But just realize that the exact angle is 100% dependent on the steel type, heat treatment, and hardness level that your particular knife is at doing the particular task that you're doing. The goal here was to help you find the answer, to teach you to do the equation and find the answer that works for you. Now, these trolls have been so influential that it's actually spawned some response videos from some other YouTubers attempting to prove me wrong about something that I never said in the first place. And despite this mountain of evidence against me, I refuse to admit that I was wrong. Now, what was this evidence, you may ask? It was attempting to chop a nail in half with a butter knife at a 30-degree angle. So here's my response to the giant pile of evidence stacked against me based on something that I never said in the first place. So I recreated this experiment. Even with a 30-degree angle, the butter knife failed. What do you know? Let's try the same test with a much higher quality steel, hardness, and heat treatment. Oh, that failed too. That's because the geometry on the blade isn't thick enough to be hammered through a nail. Also, just for evidence's sake, this is far more complicated than we are even making it out to be here. Turns out that this test has already been done by Dr. Larrin Thomas of Knife Steel Nerds and the actual force that's put into the knife when hammering through a nail or other thing that's going to break the blade is largely dependent on how well the blade holds up. So it's not just the steel, hardness, or heat treatment, but the actual hammer that you're hammering through the blade with and how hard you're hitting it has a lot to do with how much damage the knife sustains. So here's even more evidence right here in these pictures and graphs. It's been done before by people way smarter than me. I'd highly recommend picking up this book, by the way. Holy crap, I've got a migraine. How about a $5 knife from Walmart? There's like no damage. This is a $5 knife from Walmart. So which knife out of these three has the best steel and heat treatment? For even more evidence on this, we can look to some of the originators of the nail cut test. It's not a new trend, by the way. One of which is Sean Houston, aka Big Brown Bear, here on YouTube, who's been cutting nails since the beginning of time. If you don't know who Sean is, then welcome to the knife community. If you noticed in all his tests, he gives specific geometry on that knife as it's being tested. Not just the angle of the secondary cutting edge, but also the angle of the primary grind as well as the spine thickness. This is for accurate comparison's sake, since changing any one of these factors, even by a few degrees or thousandths of an inch, can completely change the outcome.
So, but to the lay person, if it doesn't succeed, then it sucks. But unfortunately, reality is that you need thicker geometry if you're going to chop through fucking nails.
So because we can't add steel to a knife out of the box, we can't put steel back where steel's been taken away. If we pull a brand new knife out of the box and it shatters into a million pieces when we hammer the thing through a nail, that is geometry. The knife is not being thick enough from the factory to be pounded through a fucking nail. And for the record, I like Peterbilt Knife Guy. If you don't know, he's one of the people out there who's doing the nail chop tests right now with brand new knives out of the box. Please don't go troll his channel if you're from my channel. And people from his channel, please stop trolling me. I've talked to him, he's a cool dude, and we get along. So this has nothing to do with him, and I don't think any of his videos have to do with me. It's just that the trolls don't understand what they're seeing on my channel, and they're not understanding what they're seeing on his channel. So just why you've got to go to the source if you're not sure. Always watch the whole thing. That way you know.
But the biggest problem is that they don't have the context to understand the real answer that I would give them. So just keep in mind, let's end this video with this. If you have just good heat treat and good steel, but great geometry, that's going to totally outperform the knife that has the better steel and the better heat treatment.